7 Little Johnstons, Trent Johnston slammed for disturbing behavior with adopted Russian daughter Anna. In recent months, the long-running TLC reality series 7 Little Johnstons, a show that has for nearly a decade chronicled the lives of a close-knit family where all members have achondroplasia, a common form of dwarfism, has found itself mired in controversy. At the heart of the growing public outcry is Trent Johnston, the family's patriarch, who is now facing intense scrutiny and criticism over his behavior toward his adopted daughter, Anna Johnston. Viewers, advocacy groups, and online commentators have raised serious concerns about what they describe as emotionally manipulative, boundary-crossing, and at times, deeply unsettling interactions between Trent and Anna, who was adopted from Russia as a young child. While 7 Little Johnstons has historically been marketed and received as an uplifting, family-friendly program highlighting the everyday triumphs and challenges of a unique household, the latest wave of backlash suggests a darker undercurrent that many believe the show has either ignored, sanitized, or inadvertently exposed through unscripted moments. Social media platforms, particularly TikTok, Reddit, and YouTube, have become hotbeds of discussion, with clips from past and current episodes dissected frame by frame. Hashtags like #ProtectAnna and #TrentJohnstonBehavior have trended, and petitions calling for TLC to address the concerns or even cancel the show have begun circulating. Anna Johnston, now a young adult in her early 20s, was adopted from an orphanage in Russia in 2007, when she was around 5 years old. The adoption was portrayed on the show as a loving, intentional expansion of the Johnston family, which already included biological children Jonah, Elizabeth, and Emma. Later, the family adopted another child, Emma's twin brother, but he was eventually placed with another family due to behavioral and attachment challenges, a storyline that itself drew criticism for its handling of adoption trauma. Anna's journey of adjustment, language acquisition, and bonding with her new family was featured prominently in early seasons, often framed as heartwarming and inspirational. However, as Anna has matured and become more vocal on the show, certain patterns in her relationship with Trent have raised red flags among viewers. Critics point to recurring scenes where Trent engages in what appears to be excessive teasing, public shaming, or emotionally charged confrontations with Anna, interactions that stand in stark contrast to his demeanor with his biological children. While reality TV is known for its dramatization and selective editing, many argue that the consistency and nature of these moments suggest a deeper issue rooted in attachment, favoritism, or unresolved adoption-related dynamics. One particularly viral clip from Season 8 shows Trent repeatedly mocking Anna during a family dinner for her cooking, calling her dish inedible and laughing as she visibly withdraws. While such behavior might be dismissed as tough love or family banter in other contexts, viewers noted that Trent rarely, if ever, speaks to his biological children with the same tone or level of derision. In another scene from Season 9, Trent interrupts Anna during a heartfelt conversation about her desire to connect with her Russian heritage, telling her, "You're an American now, get over it," before walking away. The moment left Anna visibly stunned, and many viewers interpreted the comment as dismissive of her identity and emotional needs as an adoptee. Adoption experts and child psychologists who have weighed in on the controversy emphasize that adoptees often grapple with complex feelings of loss, identity confusion, and a need for validation. Dismissing or ridiculing those feelings, especially on national television, can be deeply harmful. What we're seeing may seem like just TV to some, but for adoptees watching at home, it normalizes the erasure of their origins and emotional experiences, said Dr. Lena Morales, a clinical psychologist specializing in transracial and international adoption. When a parent publicly invalidates a child's heritage or feelings, it can reinforce shame and silence. Moreover, critics have highlighted a troubling pattern in which Trent appears to infantilize Anna, even as she enters adulthood. In multiple episodes, he refers to her as the baby or my little project, language that, while perhaps intended as affectionate, can undermine her autonomy and maturity. In one scene, he insists on helping her pack for a trip, overriding her choices and saying, "You don't know what you're doing, you've never been on your own." Such behavior, when contrasted with how he treats his biological daughter Elizabeth, who is around the same age and often shown making independent decisions, fuels perceptions of unequal treatment. The controversy has also reignited broader conversations about the ethics of reality television, particularly when children and vulnerable individuals are involved. Anna was a minor when the show began filming, and while she is now an adult, much of the footage that concerns viewers was recorded during her formative years. Consent in reality TV is a murky issue. Minors cannot legally consent to being filmed for commercial entertainment, and even as adults, participants may feel pressured to continue due to contracts, family loyalty, or financial dependence. Former reality TV participants from other shows have spoken out in solidarity with Anna, urging viewers not to dismiss the behavior as just how the family is. Reality TV families are performing versions of themselves, but the emotions are real, said one former cast member who asked to remain anonymous. If something feels off to thousands of viewers, it's worth asking why, and whether the network has a responsibility to intervene. TLC has yet to issue an official statement addressing the specific allegations against Trent. The network has long faced criticism for its portrayal of families in shows like 19 Kids and Counting, My 600 Pounds Life, and Sister Wives, with detractors accusing it of exploiting personal trauma for ratings. In response to past controversies, TLC has typically emphasized that its shows reflect real life and that participants are aware of the cameras. However, this defense rings hollow for many who argue that real life should not include unchecked emotional harm broadcast to millions. Amber Johnston, Trent's wife and Anna's adoptive mother, has also come under scrutiny for her apparent silence or passive role in these interactions. In several scenes, she watches as Trent berates or belittles Anna without stepping in. While some viewers speculate that she may be trying to maintain family harmony or avoid on-camera conflict, others see her inaction as complicity. As a mother, especially one who chose to adopt, there's a responsibility to protect your child's emotional well-being, even from your spouse, commented family therapist Marcus Green in a recent podcast episode dissecting the show. Anna herself has not publicly addressed the controversy outside of the show's narrative. On 7 Little Johnstons, she often appears reserved, sometimes smiling through tense moments, other times retreating into silence. In a rare candid moment during season 9, she told the camera, "Sometimes I feel like I'm still trying to prove I belong here." The line resonated deeply with adoptees and allies, many of whom saw it as a quiet cry for validation. Supporters of the Johnston family argue that viewers are overreacting and taking scenes out of context. They point out that all families have moments of tension and that Trent's bluntness is part of his personality, not malice. Some fans have defended him as a devoted father who went to great lengths to adopt Anna and provide her with a stable home. "He's not perfect, but he's tried," one fan wrote on Instagram. Let's not villainize someone for being human on TV. Yet critics counter that the issue isn't about perfection, it's about patterns. Occasional parental missteps are universal, but consistent behavior that singles out one child, especially an adoptee, for ridicule, dismissal, or control crosses a line. The fact that this pattern has persisted over multiple seasons, with little to no on-screen accountability, is what troubles observers most. The situation also raises questions about cultural competence in international adoption. Anna's Russian background is rarely explored on the show beyond superficial references. There is no indication that the Johnstons sought cultural education, maintained connections to Russian language or traditions, or supported Anna in exploring her roots, practices that adoption professionals strongly recommend for healthy identity development in transnational adoptees. Instead, the show often frames Anna's differences, whether in temperament, interests, or emotional expression, as problems to be corrected rather than aspects of her unique journey. In recent episodes, Anna has begun asserting more independence, moving out of the family home and pursuing her own relationships and career goals. These storylines have been met with enthusiasm by fans who see them as signs of growth and healing. However, even in these moments of autonomy, Trent's commentary often carries a tone of skepticism or disappointment. In one scene, when Anna announces she's dating someone seriously, Trent quips, "Just don't bring home any tall guys, we've got low door frames." The joke landed awkwardly, and many viewers interpreted it as a veiled attempt to control her choices. As the backlash grows, some advertisers have reportedly begun re-evaluating their association with the show. While TLC has not confirmed any sponsor pullouts, industry insiders note that networks are increasingly sensitive to social media-driven controversies, especially those involving child welfare or emotional safety. What makes this situation particularly complex is the intersection of disability, adoption, and media representation. The Johnston family has been celebrated as pioneers in dwarfism visibility, and their show has undoubtedly helped normalize little people in mainstream media. But that progress should not come at the expense of one family member's dignity or emotional health. Advocates argue that true representation means showing families in all their complexity, including holding them accountable when harm occurs. At its core, the controversy surrounding Trent Johnston and Anna is not just about one TV show or one family. It's about how society treats adoptees, how media shapes our understanding of parenting, and whether entertainment should have ethical boundaries. It's about the quiet pain of feeling like an outsider in your own home, and the amplified hurt when that pain is broadcast for millions to see, laugh at, or ignore. As of now, 7 Little Johnstons continues to air new episodes, and the Johnston family maintains an active social media presence. Anna occasionally posts photos with her siblings or updates about her life, but she has not directly responded to the online discourse about her relationship with Trent. Whether this silence is strategic, protective, or simply private remains unknown. What is clear, however, is that the conversation is not going away. Viewers are demanding more than just entertainment, they're calling for empathy, accountability, and a re-examination of what we accept as normal family dynamics on television. For Anna, and for adoptees everywhere, the hope is that this moment sparks not just outrage, but real change, in how families support adopted children, how networks produce reality content, and how audiences choose to watch, question, and care. In the end, the story of 7 Little Johnstons may no longer be just about living life as a little person in a world built for average height. It may become a cautionary tale about the cost of fame, the weight of unexamined bias, and the enduring need for every child, adopted or not, to feel truly seen, heard, and loved for who they are. 7 Little Johnstons, Trent and Amber exaggerating Anna's mistakes? Fans think they are blatantly unfair to her. For nearly a decade, 7 Little Johnstons has been one of TLC's most enduring and talked about reality shows. Centered on Trent and Amber Johnston, a married couple both with achondroplasia dwarfism, and their 5 children, the series offers a rare window into the daily lives, challenges, and joys of a large family navigating a world not always built for their stature. With 3 of their children also having dwarfism and 2 being average height, the Johnstons have long championed messages of inclusivity, resilience, and unconditional love. Yet as the show has evolved through its many seasons, a growing segment of its fanbase has raised serious concerns about what they perceive as a troubling and consistent pattern. Trent and Amber's treatment of their daughter Anna appears disproportionately harsh, critical, and even unfair, especially when compared to how they handle similar behavior from her siblings. Anna Johnston, the family's second oldest child and the only biological child of Trent and Amber who is average height, has increasingly become a lightning rod for viewer frustration. While every teenager makes mistakes, missed curfews, academic struggles, romantic missteps, fans argue that Anna's errors are not only magnified but also framed as moral failings rather than normal growing pains. More troublingly, her siblings often receive empathy, second chances, or even gentle humor when they stumble, while Anna is met with stern lectures, public disappointment, and sometimes outright dismissal. This perceived double standard has sparked intense debate across social media platforms, fan forums, and even mainstream entertainment coverage, with many viewers questioning whether unconscious bias, parental expectations, or the demands of reality TV storytelling are contributing to Anna's unfavorable portrayal. One of the most frequently cited examples of this imbalance revolves around Anna's educational and career choices. Early in the series, Anna expressed interest in pursuing cosmetology, a path that aligned with her creative interests and offered a viable, hands-on career. However, Trent and Amber reacted with visible disapproval, framing her decision as irresponsible and short-sighted. They repeatedly emphasized the importance of a 4-year college degree, suggesting that anything less would limit her future opportunities. In multiple episodes, they lectured Anna about not taking her future seriously and implied that her ambitions were beneath the family's standards. Contrast this with how the family treated Jonah, their youngest son, when he openly declared he had no interest in college and instead wanted to focus on music, social media, and content creation. While Trent and Amber did express mild concern, their tone was markedly different, supportive, curious, and even encouraging. They helped him set up recording equipment, attended his performances, and praised his entrepreneurial spirit. Elizabeth, the eldest daughter, also took significant time away from college to focus on her relationship with Bryce and her role on the show, yet she rarely faced the same level of scrutiny or public criticism from her parents. Fans noticed the inconsistency immediately. Why is Anna shamed for wanting to be a hairstylist, but Jonah gets cheered for wanting to be an influencer? Asked one popular TikTok creator whose video on the topic amassed over 1 million views. Others pointed out that careers in the beauty industry require certification, business acumen, and interpersonal skills, qualities that are just as valuable as a traditional degree. The implication that Anna's path was lesser struck many viewers as not only outdated but also deeply unfair. Anna's romantic life has also been a focal point of tension, and another area where fans see clear favoritism. During her brief relationship with a young man named Noah, Trent and Amber responded with intense skepticism. They questioned his character, grilled Anna about his intentions, and seemed to treat the relationship as a potential threat rather than a normal part of adolescent development. In one particularly tense scene, Amber told Anna she didn't trust Noah, while Trent warned that Anna was too naive to see red flags. Meanwhile, when Jonah began dating, his relationships were portrayed with warmth and humor. Episodes featuring his crushes or early dating experiences were lighthearted, often ending with family members teasing him affectionately. Even Elizabeth's long-term relationship with Bryce, which began when she was still in high school, was met with cautious support. Trent and Amber welcomed Bryce into the family, included him in vacations, and eventually celebrated their engagement. There was no interrogation, no public doubt, no implication that Elizabeth was making a mistake. This disparity has led fans to wonder, is Anna being held to a different standard because she's average height? Some speculate that Trent and Amber, both deeply embedded in the dwarfism community, may unconsciously view Anna as less connected to their shared identity and therefore in need of stricter guidance. Others suggest that because Anna doesn't face the same physical barriers as her siblings, her parents assume life is easier for her, and thus expect more perfection in return. Whatever the reason, the emotional impact on Anna appears significant. Of course, it's essential to acknowledge that 7 Little Johnstons is a reality television show, not a documentary. Producers shape narratives, select scenes for maximum drama, and often cast family members into archetypal roles: the golden child, the rebel, the peacemaker. In this framework, Anna has increasingly been positioned as the problem child, the one who challenges authority, makes questionable choices, and disrupts family harmony. But fans argue that even within the constraints of reality TV storytelling, the portrayal of Anna crosses a line. Episodes frequently open with Trent or Amber delivering voiceovers expressing frustration or disappointment specifically about Anna. Her mistakes are shown without sufficient context, while her efforts to improve or explain herself are often cut short. In contrast, when Jonah forgets to do his chores or Elizabeth misses a family event, the show provides backstory, emotional nuance, and resolution. Moreover, Anna's quieter moments, her acts of kindness, her attempts to connect with her siblings, her vulnerability, are rarely highlighted. Instead, the camera lingers on her arguments with her parents, her eye rolls, or her withdrawn expressions. Over time, this selective framing creates a one-dimensional image that doesn't reflect the full complexity of who she is. Perhaps the most compelling evidence that something is amiss comes from Anna herself. In a rare unscripted moment during Season 8, she confided to the camera, "I feel like I'm always the one getting in trouble, like no matter what I do, it's never good enough." The raw honesty of that admission resonated deeply with viewers, many of whom saw their own experiences reflected in her words. Comments flooded in, "That broke my heart, she's not a bad kid, she's just different, why can't they see how hard she's trying?" Since then, Anna's presence on the show has noticeably diminished. She now lives separately from the family home, appears in fewer episodes, and seems emotionally distant during group scenes. While the show attributes this to her finding her independence, many fans interpret it as a sign of deeper familial strain. Her reduced role has only fueled speculation that the relationship with her parents has deteriorated beyond what's shown on screen. Trent and Amber have addressed criticism in interviews and on their family podcast, maintaining that they treat all their children equally and that their parenting style is rooted in tough love. Amber has stated, "We want our kids to be prepared for the real world. That means holding them accountable." Trent has echoed this, saying, "We believe in high expectations because we know they're capable." While accountability is a valid parenting principle, critics argue that consistency and compassion are equally important. Discipline without empathy can feel like rejection, especially during the formative teenage years. When a child repeatedly hears that they're falling short, that their choices are wrong, and that their dreams aren't valid, it's natural for them to withdraw. Anna's growing distance may not be rebellion, it may be self-preservation. Furthermore, the idea that tough love justifies public shaming or unequal treatment doesn't hold up under scrutiny. Healthy parenting involves recognizing each child's unique temperament, strengths, and struggles, and adapting accordingly. Elizabeth thrives with gentle guidance. Jonah responds to encouragement. Anna, it seems, needs validation and trust, but instead, she's often met with suspicion and correction. Anna's situation also touches on deeper themes of identity and belonging. As the only average height child in a family of little people, she occupies a complex space. She shares her parents' home, values, and love, but not their physical experience of the world. This duality can be isolating. On one hand, she benefits from certain privileges, e.g., accessibility, fewer stares in public. On the other, she may feel like an outsider within her own family, a dynamic that's rarely explored on the show. Some fans theorize that Trent and Amber, perhaps unintentionally, project their own insecurities onto Anna. Having faced discrimination and barriers their entire lives, they may fear that Anna won't fully understand or advocate for the dwarfism community. In trying to protect their legacy, they might be holding her to impossible standards, expecting her to be not just successful, but flawless. The conversation around Anna's treatment has exploded on social media. Hashtags like #JusticeForAnna and #AnnaDeservesBetter trend regularly after new episodes air. TikTok compilations juxtaposing Anna's scoldings with her siblings for given mistakes have gone viral, often accompanied by captions like "This isn't parenting, it's favoritism" or "She's 20, not a criminal." Many viewers share personal stories of being the black sheep in their families, creating a sense of solidarity with Anna. Mental health advocates have also weighed in, warning that constant criticism from parents can lead to anxiety, low self-worth, and strained relationships well into adulthood. What we're seeing isn't just reality TV drama, it's a real emotional dynamic with real consequences, one therapist noted in a widely shared Instagram post. Even former fans of the show have expressed disillusionment. "I used to love the Johnstons because they seemed so united," one Reddit user wrote. "Now it feels like they're sacrificing Anna's dignity for ratings." TLC and the show's producers also bear some responsibility. By consistently framing Anna as the source of conflict, they reinforce a narrative that may not reflect reality, but certainly shapes public perception. If the goal of 7 Little Johnstons is to educate and inspire, then presenting a balanced, compassionate view of all family members is essential. Instead, Anna is often reduced to a plot device, the daughter who doesn't get it, who makes things difficult, who needs to grow up. This isn't just unfair to Anna, it undermines the show's core message of acceptance. How can the Johnstons claim to champion diversity and understanding if they can't extend that grace to their own child? It's possible that off-camera, Trent and Amber are more supportive than they appear on screen. Reality TV thrives on conflict, and moments of reconciliation or quiet understanding rarely make the final cut. But perception is powerful, especially when millions of people are watching. And right now, the perception is clear: Anna is being treated differently, and it hurts to watch. For the family to move forward in a healthy way, open communication is key. Anna deserves to feel heard, valued, and loved, not just when she meets her parents' expectations, but simply because she exists. Trent and Amber, in turn, may need to reflect on whether their expectations are rooted in love or control, and whether their tough love is actually helping or harming. As Seven Little Johnstons continues into future seasons, fans hope to see a shift, a storyline where Anna's dreams are validated, her mistakes are met with patience, and her place in the family is celebrated, not questioned. After all, a family that truly embraces differences shouldn't just tolerate them, they should honor them. In the end, the controversy surrounding Anna isn't just about one reality TV family. It's about the universal need for fairness, empathy, and unconditional love. And if the Johnstons can't offer that to their own daughter, then perhaps their biggest lesson isn't for their children, but for themselves.